Tonight, a bombing in South Asia leaves dozens murdered. A man in Georgia learns why your parole officer should not be your drug dealer, and everything you need to know about Ebola. SRU-TV starts now.
Good afternoon, Slippery Rock. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Sam Campbell here with Taylor Schultz with all your news for today, Wednesday, November 5th.
On November 8th, Rock PR Productions is hosting the 3rd annual Dodge for Paws Dodgeball Tournament. They are partnering up with the Butler County Humane Society to help raise money for animals and help rescued animals find a new home. If you didn't sign up for the team, still come out and support Butler County Humane Society and PR Productions.
A 35,000-pound piece of construction equipment crushed a car on Route 56 early Monday morning. Dustin Best escaped his vehicle unharmed while his car was crushed by the equipment. Route 56 was closed while crews worked to clear the scene.
Devastating news in South Asia as a suicide bomber in Pakistan killed 60 people and wounded over 100 more near the country's border with India on Sunday. The bomber entered a daily parade near the border and set off his explosive vest near one of the checkpoints. The bomber used over 11 pounds of explosive material. The entire act was caught in surveillance video that will soon be released.
We will be right back after these messages.
Throughout the past couple of weeks, news reports have been surfacing involving the spread of Ebola within the United States. Multiple citizens have been quarantined and treated for this deadly disease. In an effort to stop and spread the infection, the World Health Organization is pressing the search for a vaccine for the disease and hoping to begin testing the experimental vaccines as early as January. The experimental vaccine is to be used on over 20,000 frontline healthcare workers and others who are located in West Africa's hot zone.
The king of the high wire, Nick Wallenda, recently walked between 2 Chicago skyscrapers on a high wire. Nick completed 2 different walks, the first a total of 200 yards, including a 19-degree incline, and the second walk 93 feet, but was blindfolded throughout the entire walk. Individuals at home were able to watch on the Discovery Channel and also online. During the walk, Nick broke both the world record for highest incline tightrope walk and highest blindfolded tightrope walk.
It was a cold night in Pittsburgh when the Steelers took on longtime rival, the Baltimore Ravens. Big Ben Roethlisberger led the team with a win and a 6-touchdown performance. Antonio Brown was the next big player with over 100 yards receiving and a touchdown. It was a big time for the Steelers to get revenge as they lost to the Ravens earlier this season.
A man in Georgia is now behind bars after accidentally texting his parole officer asking him for marijuana. Alvin Cross Jr. was on probation after being sentenced to 15 years in prison for an armed robbery offense in 2006. After obtaining a search warrant, police found a bag of cocaine in his possession. Cross pled guilty and is now serving 2 years in prison, one for violating his probation and another for drug possession.
Good afternoon, Slippery Rock. I'm Adam, and here's the first broadcast of the World News. This week's topic is much talked about Ebola. There are more and more cases of it popping up in the United States. Luckily, there hasn't been a case of it in Pennsylvania yet. However, there are 105 people being monitored for it in Pennsylvania. Dave Wheel is around campus asking students their opinion on it and if they are taking any extra precautions to avoid it should it reach our campus. That's all for this week. If you have any comments or agree with what your fellow students had to say, follow us on Twitter at WSRU-TV, and we would love to hear from you. For Dave Wield in the field, I'm Adam Falkowski, and have a great week, Slippery Rock.
WSRU reporter Alyssa Srincioni reports on the white lie in the White House.
March 27, 2013 was the day when Julia Pearson was sworn in as the Secret Service agency's first female director. Fast forward to Wednesday, October 1st of this year, when she resigned from her position as director after much criticism for potentially putting President Obama in danger. Iraq war veteran Omar Gonzalez was the breaking point after he jumped the fence to the White House and got all the way to the East Room. Gonzalez wasn't the only incident that had people questioning the actions of Pearson and the Secret Service.
When you start to cover something up, and it appears that they were not forthright initially in what had happened, and so I think that got people scratching their heads to begin with. And then if you look at the history, it was just about 2 years or so ago when the previous director resigned. There was an incident where there were several Secret Service members at a convention or get-together in Colombia, and they were out, I guess, partying and with some ladies of the night paying for services rendered and so forth. And so there's been kind of this scandalous sort of background there, and of all the agencies where we cannot afford to have a mistake, it's people who are protecting the lives of our president.
Slippery Rock University student Curtis found the reaction of the public to be amusing.
Well, the stance is that the response has been ridiculous. Well, for example, I saw online that they were accusing the head of the Secret Service of allowing the man in intentionally because the president's black and they don't want to protect him. And of course, the Secret Service is the Secret Service. The race of the president doesn't matter. Loonies are going to get in from time to time.
With all of the speculation on Julia Pearson's resignation, it's a situation that has proven that more action needs to be taken and will continue to be investigated. From the Quad, Alyssa Srincioni, WSRU-TV News.
The U.S. state of Louisiana is slowly disappearing into the Gulf of Mexico as its fragile wetlands are eroded by the rising sea levels. Approximately 75 square kilometers are lost each year and the U.S. Geological Survey has warned about the entire habitat, which represents 40% of all wetlands in the U.S. These wetlands could be destroyed within the next 200 years. The loss is partly down to the natural evolutionary process, but experts say human behavior, including dredging for the canals and draining of the wetlands for development and agriculture, has made the region more vulnerable to storm surges. Some communities still live on the remote network of the islands deep in the bayous of South Louisiana, but now their livelihoods and their very way of life are under threat from the water.
Thank you for joining us, Slippery Rock. I'm Sam Campbell.
And I'm Taylor Schultz.
Good night and rock on.